Hello! Welcome to Table Flippin' Games. Don't adjust your TV set.
Where
Um,
am I?
this is supposed to be where you are. You're exactly where you should be. Yeah, welcome. We are officially moved. We kind of talked a little bit about this last week. That we were going to be going over to Deb's channel to stream Table Flippin' board games. And then during the week, Miss Clicks kind of announced things that we couldn't talk about, which included the fact that they were kind of ceasing operations. A lot of them had kind of moved on as far as other projects and things they were working on, and so it was really difficult to kind of maintain Miss Clicks as a channel. But everyone was really thankful and sad about having to do that. So it wasn't like there was any animosity. We were leaving because we were unhappy or anything like that. We uh, so they were just kind of closing that community, and everything was going to kind of go on from there. And we moved here, so we're really excited. Did I miss anything as far as our updating?
Don't think so.
No, I think you're good.
Okay, cool. The other news we had is we did, obviously, last episode we stayed up late. It was a three-part YouTube series.
Worth it.
Yeah, to finish episode 8. Yeah. So we finished that up, and we will be playing the next two, but not this week and not next week. But we'll be playing the last two, and that'll be really exciting. So we'll be glad to do that, finish up that campaign, and then we'll be kind of thinking about what the possibilities are for after that. So we'll talk about that a little bit, and tonight we'll be playing one of the games as kind of a preview of a possible campaign we could do after Gloomhaven. I know one of the things we talked about was kind of some excitement about continuing Gloomhaven, but if we decide to take like a break, some of the campaigns that we might preview might be a little bit smaller. I think Gloomhaven is the longest campaign you could ever play,
Yeah.
besides playing video games or an MMO.
Kickstarter one, geez.
Yeah, yeah. So
But
it's
but there's some
enormous.
things, I guess, not to talk too long about Gloomhaven, but I guess the reason we're entertaining Gloomhaven still is we haven't played the normal campaign, and there's a lot of things you don't see in the Kickstarter that are in the normal.
Right.
So we think it wouldn't be too boring. Like what are some of the things that we're not seeing?
Well,
Any of
one
the town stuff,
Yeah, any town stuff, any
classes.
yeah, the items are a little bit limited. Yeah, there are retiring characters and then new characters come in. You can actually enchant your ability cards,
Oh
um,
yes.
which
Yeah.
is a really cool feature in the main game. And I'm not exactly sure how it works, but when supposedly even if it's very expensive and time consuming to be able to even upgrade one card with one upgrade.
Yeah, like hundreds of gold.
Yeah, it's crazy expensive. But apparently those cards might transfer. There were hints in the instructions that the deck that you're building may continue on even after your character retires. So I don't know. We'll
Oh, okay.
see.
Like once you pay for it, it's just unlocked.
Yeah, yeah. From
That
then
makes
on.
sense because I think the cards have in the physical version they have stickers you put onto them.
Right, yeah. So they would be permanently on there unless you got a whole new deck of cards every time you opened up a new, yeah, character. Yeah, that would be crazy.
Because you can replay the character, like somebody else can replay like Tinker after you retire it or something.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought about that, but yeah, that makes sense. You could totally pick that guy again. Um, yeah, so there's lots of cool things, and the story is about 10 times cooler, I think, especially talking about the mystery of what's going on.
Oh, cool. I'd like to see that
Yeah.
thing. So Gloomhaven's in the running as far as playing the normal campaign, and then this is contender number two, we think.
Yeah, so we're going to be taking a look tonight at. I'll switch to the game screen here. Let's see.
Oh, I'm very quiet. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I'll try to be better.
Cool. Look at that.
So
Still gotta
Imperial
get.
Assault. Oh,
Is
yeah.
that? I don't know if that's better.
Imperial Assault, Legends of the Alliance. Now, I just noticed a problem that I'm having here, which is that I created two scenes with it but I'm only showing that one, even though I have Tabletop Simulator open, so I can see a problem here already.
Something we may have to work out.
Yeah, can I stream two different windows at the same time?
Can you stream two different windows?
Right, like I have Tabletop Simulator open in one window.
Yeah, you just have to add it as another source and put it over the game if you want.
Yeah, because I copied the scene and then I pulled in a new source. Okay, hold on, let me do this again.
What? You just add it as a...
Oh, never mind. For some reason, the first one switched. That's interesting. So maybe it's because I duplicated it.
Yeah, because you're changing the source of the same source. You're changing the address of the same source. You know.
I gotcha.
Do it the same thing. They're referencing the same place.
I gotcha. Okay, well, it's very easy for me to switch back to.
Well, all you have to do is click the. Here, I'll open OBS and walk you through it. You just click the plus thing for a new source inside the same scene, and then add.
Oh, I gotcha.
Whatever kind it is. I don't know what you're capturing.
Game capture probably.
Yeah, then game capture, and then you can put the link to whatever it is in there. Is it the companion thing? Is that what you're putting
Yeah,
in?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you can put that in there, and then make sure that it's listed above the other one, and then shrink it down so it can be in like the corner or something, or you can put it over the box for Gloomhaven. Oh,
I gotcha.
I can see.
Hey.
Turning.
We're getting all crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I know. Hey, this is what's cool about, our stream is this is like a how-to.
Yep,
Yeah.
you learn how to stream Tabletop Simulator board
I
game.
mean, if you want to just put it over the Gloomhaven box, just bring it back all the way to the top, and then just shrink it down. That's probably the best place to put it.
Yeah, that's true. That's
We're not-
smart. It is rather large.
It listed as Gloomhaven.
Well, while you're working on it, I can let them...
Imperial Assault.
What they're seeing, and the reason we have the two screens is, this is a game that they came out with an app to run the AI,
Right.
which is really cool.
Yeah,
Really
originally the game is if you've played Descent, which is a game that Fantasy Flight made. It's a very old game, but they're in their second printing or their second edition right now, which is pretty awesome. And they decided to take that basic skeleton mechanic and put Star Wars. When they got the Star Wars license, they made a Star Wars game out of it. So it's really cool. Originally, it's a 3 versus 1 game where one person is the Imperial player playing the Overlord, and the other players are the Rebel Alliance. Now, when the app came out, and Descent has its own app also, the app runs the story and the Imperial player, and the players get to play cooperatively, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And there are lots of mods on Tabletop Simulator. Of course, again, just preface this with saying, please make sure you buy the game. There's lots of expansions, lots of details. You could play this game for hours and hours and hours with the campaigns that come in the box, and then of course you add the app and you can play cooperatively for a lot longer than that, so it's really awesome. But this mod is probably my favorite. I'll try to look up the name of it. It's the one that's actually made for the Legends of Alliance app. It's called Legends of the Alliance Setup, and it does have everything. Well, there are some map tiles I've noticed, like Bestman Gambit and Return to Hoth. Those are missing, so there's some components that haven't been inserted yet. But if you look at the models that they have in here, the 3D models are pretty amazing.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, so they're very cool to play with. Even the game doesn't come with colored models like these. You'd have to paint them. They're all pretty gray. So it's pretty cool. And it's obviously a lot of fun to play cooperatively if you don't have local friends. So there's all these options. So we're getting ready to start this.
Cool.
So I'm going to switch to the app, and I know there's a little bit of a delay, so waiting just a little bit. Every time you play, you're going to have to, when you first log in, you're going to have to add your collection. Like so you could have just the base game and play this app, which is really cool. But once you start buying more expansions, you can add more stuff, and it'll actually change where your missions are and the maps you use and stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome. And then once you've got your collection added, whatever sets you have. Oh, and by the way, if you wanted to know how many things there are you can buy for Imperial Assault, there's about 1 billion. It's like pages and pages. Some of these are just little troopers that you can buy. They're like $12 per pack. And then they have big sets that add actual campaign quests and stuff like that. Let's see.
So this has got a good amount of stuff to play through.
Yes, and they just released a new campaign. So there was one big campaign plus a tutorial, and now there is a tutorial plus 2 big campaigns that you can play. Let's see, they should have them listed here. Yeah, so they just added, if you look on the right here, there's the Legend of Alliance tutorial, there's Jabba's Realm, which is the new campaign they just added, and then Flight of the Freedom Fighter, which is, I think, the campaign that originally came with it. And we're going to be taking a look at the Legends of the Alliance tutorial. So what's cool about the tutorial is you could conceivably buy the game at the hobby store, bring it home, load up this app, and it'll teach you how to play the game without even needing to read the rule book. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So we kind of taking a look at this.
Yeah, that's what we're doing tonight. It's not going to be a full game. We're going to play through the tutorial, but it's very informative. I think we get a good sense of the game going through it.
Yeah. Oh, you can have up to 4 players. That's cool. So you can have... Oh, I guess that makes sense. Descent has 4 plus 1 is the Overlord, too. So we'll be playing with 3 Rebel heroes. Now, in the tutorial, you will have to play with the characters that they give you. So we'll be playing with Jin, Odan, Garkon, and Fen Cygnus. Typical Star Wars names. So I'm going to... Oh, what do we want our squad name to be? We get to pick our squad name.
Rogue 2.
Rogue 2? That's really creative.
Rogue 2. Gone Roger.
It's getting hot in here, so put on all your clothes.
It's getting hot.
Or
That's
how about
a
all...
long name.
What about... So put on all your clones. Yeah.
That's our entire squad's
That's what
name.
you're looking for.
So when we're talking over the radio, we have to say this whole name.
That's what we should be. We should just be the right droids.
There you go.
The right droid.
The right droids. The ones you're looking for.
I like it. There you go.
All right.
Shirt once that said, "It's getting hot in here, so put on your clothes." It was didn't sell well.
That's awesome.
Actually surprised.
I like the right droids.
All right, cool. Do we have to put our squad name in somewhere?
I think it's just so that it saves the game under your campaign. So you can have actually several games running at the same time.
Gotcha. Oh, there's something exposition here, it looks like.
Yeah, so this takes place right after they blew up the Death Star in A New Hope.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
you didn't put it in the Gloomhaven thing? Is it too big?
Did I put it in there? It should be streaming on there.
No, it's streaming. Oh, never mind. I thought you were gonna put it over the board game thing, but never mind. You do it however you want to do it.
Yeah, I'll switch back once we get to where we're back to the game board.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah. No, I don't care. It's up to you. That's
All
fine.
right. So, so the exposition, in case you can't read it, says, from within the secret rebel base on Yavin 4, you listen anxiously as the pilots of red and gold squadrons face down the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star. You cheer with joyful relief when Luke Skywalker destroys the Imperial installation with a single shot. You stand at grateful attention as Princess Leia Organa presents Skywalker and Han Solo with awards for their meritorious service. Yet the ceremony is hardly finished when Rebel Command orders a full evacuation of the Yavin 4 base. You help load the transports, uncertain how long you have until the Empire arrives. Alright, so we can play up to either 1 to 4 players. Each player is going to control their own hero. We must all work together to accomplish the goals of the campaign that we're playing. The campaign is played over a series of missions, and though you might lose individual missions, the campaign continues until it reaches its conclusion. The fate of the Rebel Alliance is in your hand. So yeah, you don't die. If you die in a mission, you kind of get exhausted, and then you continue on, kind of like in Arkham.
So unlike Gloomhaven, you lose, you don't replay it.
Right, you keep going. Yeah.
Okay.
This tutorial will teach you how to play Star Wars Imperial Assault. The tutorial only... okay, so it's a broad overview. Yada, yada, yada. You should have a core set. If you need to review past messages, there's a log button, so you can always review if you missed something and accidentally clicked. You had just arrived at the Rebel base on Yavin as new recruits when the Death Star came to destroy the moon. Now that the Death Star has been destroyed, nearly everyone on the planet is preparing to evacuate the base. You, however, are to undergo training to become soldiers and perhaps one day legends of the Alliance. Titular line. Italicized text tells the story of what is happening in the game. Okay. So missions will be maps made up of double-sided tiles with squares on them. And you can always click on a piece and it'll tell you what you need or what information about it in the app. So I'm going to pull out the map tiles that we'll need. I think I'm going to kind of pull them out one at a time.
Okay.
Just because it kind of makes less of a clutter on the board. See if that works though. I'm going to take a picture just in case that was a bad idea. Okay, got it. And that's not the starting tile. Okay.
Put it to the side maybe or something.
Yeah. Alright, it says... oh, I put it back in the box.
Oh.
Alright, the air is hot and thick with humidity. The sounds of the dense, lively jungle surround you on all sides. So now we have to place tile 18A.
Oh, you opened the bag and put it back. Because
yeah.
Like you dragged it to a spot and it disappeared. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's new.
So I'll switch back to our game place.
Thank you.
Alright, so I'm placing the tiles here.
Is that a door?
Yeah.
And it stands up?
I know, it's pretty crazy.
Fancy.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You set it to open? Toggle. No.
I know, yeah. It's not that cool.
Yeah, not cool anymore.
Yeah. So this is our starting location. Let's see. So we're gonna. So one character is gonna be playing Jin or Dan. Oh, Dan. Sorry. I gotta find her.
Jin Kazama.
Oh, there you go.
So whoever wants to play her, and I'll pull her character sheet out in a second so you can see if you want to play her. So really all you'll need for this to start in the intro campaign, or intro mission, is you'll need the player character card, which looks like this. And then you need the starting deck for each character has a class deck, or a character deck that goes with their character. You only really need the first card, and you'll know that this is the card because it's a weapon. And then all the other cards you can kind of put away for now, but they have experience at the bottom. If you can see in the bottom of this one, it says 4 XP. So
Okay.
those you will buy as you gain XP. So this is how you level up in between missions.
Cool.
So you won't use those right away.
So you wanna do you want us to kind of show what Jin's about?
Yeah, so Jin is really awesome in the sense that she plays,
She's a smuggler, it looks
yeah,
like. Han
yeah,
Solo type.
sly smuggler. She's a quick draw, so she can actually use some of her endurance, which is kind of like mana, to be able to activate at the start of a hostile figure's turn, and can interrupt and shoot them really quickly, which is pretty awesome.
Ah, shoot up first.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. And then and that's an ability that every character has two abilities. One is usually powered by endurance or stress. You take stress to do it, and once your stress is out, you can't do it anymore. Then the other ability that you have is a kind of a passive, or it's always available basically. So the opportunist, as an opportunist, after she resolves an attack, if the character serves a is hit and gets a wound, she can actually move a space. So she can kind of tactically
Take
move.
advantage.
Yeah, take
Yeah.
advantage of them.
I'm
Yeah.
here now.
So the stats are pretty easy to understand for each character. Basically, the health is your hit points. Once you take that many hits or wounds, you flip your card over to the wounded side, which is the red side. Uh, and you basically, in the beginning tutorials, you don't want to get wounded because that can actually take your character out of the game. But later on, in other missions, you can actually be wounded and still go on. So you have 10 health. Your endurance, like I said before, is how much stress you can take. So every time you activate an ability that requires stress, it's kind of like your mana. So she could do, for example, quick draw twice. That's the little stress symbol by the 2 on quick draw. She can do that twice, and then she'll be up to her endurance and stress, and she'll have to rest to get rid of that. Speed,
Okay.
yeah, speed is basically how fast she moves, and then defense is the die that she rolls whenever she's hit by an attack, and then the symbols at the bottom are only used for skill checks, and those will come into play later on. We'll talk about those later.
Okay.
They're kind of
Oh,
incidental, not too important.
she's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good start.
She does seem neat.
Yeah, and then okay, so next we have Garkon.
Chewbacca looking guy.
Yeah, the Wookiee,
Oh, the Wookiee. Gotta love him.
and get his stuff out. Bum, bum, bum.
If you play the Wookiee, you have to talk like a Wookiee for the rest.
There you go.
That's the rule.
Oh, and Jin's starting weapon is a vintage blaster, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
And Garkon's weapon is a vibro axe, so he's a melee guy. You can tell that that he's melee because by the attack colors, the attack dice that you roll, there's a sword icon, and by Jin's there's a gun icon.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so she's ranged.
Yeah, and the blade has the colors represent the die you roll when you attack, and then the little abilities underneath the picture are things you can trigger with if you roll a surge. It's like a little bit of a critical hit.
Okay.
Garkon is a fierce warrior. I'm trying to zoom out. Okay. He has a charge, which is really cool, because normally you have to spend an action to move, and then you can spend an action to attack, but he can actually move and attack in the same action by spending some fatigue, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, he does a charge. And then after an attack targets him, he can actually become focused, which makes him better. Like, he goes into a rage and is better at killing if someone hits him with 3 or more damage in one turn.
He's putting his butt up front.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a tank.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, he has 14 health, 4 endurance, 4 speed, and a black defense die. The defense dice are cool because the white defense die that Jin has means that she's more likely to dodge an attack completely because she can jump out of the way.
Okay.
But the black defense die means, like with Garkon, means that you're more likely to just be able to absorb the damage.
Okay. Because
Right.
you're like easy.
Yeah, and you won't ever dodge anything, unlike the white die.
Okay.
All right, and then finally we got our last character, Fen Cygnus.
His last name sounds like sickness.
Yeah, I've got the old Finn sickness.
Get down with the Cygnus.
Yeah.
So he. Let me see. All right. So his character also has a black die. He's got 4 speed, 12 health, and 4 endurance. His ability is a havoc shot. So for 1 stress, while he's attacking with a ranged weapon, which he does have a ranged weapon. Ooh. He shoots with an infantry rifle.
Cool.
Yeah.
An older model, but it's reliable.
Flavor text.
Exactly.
I love it. I like Garcon's flavor text on his.
Oh, what's his name? That's
Means
hilarious.
peas.
Yeah.
His havoc shot is while he's attacking with a ranged weapon, it gains blast, which means he not only hits the target hex, but target square, but also all the surrounding squares with 1 damage.
Cool.
So he's got like explosive bullets. And then his passive ability is he's a lone wolf. At the end of his activation, if there's no friendly figures adjacent to him, he actually recovers stress. So he's a great sniper. If he's by himself, he tends to lose all of the stress that he spends doing his havoc shot, explosive shots.
Wow.
Oh, hell yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. So these are our 3.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So you just gotta be back in the...
Yeah. And he starts here. So we're all next to each other, which is kind of nice.
So we just pick amongst these 3, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone got a strong preference?
I'm leaning toward either of the ranged people.
Okay. Gabe?
I don't have a preference. I've played a lot of these characters a lot, so
Well, I think
Joe?
I think I'll continue my brutish nature
Okay.
from Gloomhaven and go
Yeah,
with the
probably
old Wookiee.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'll set it here,
Okay.
I guess.
oh yeah. You want me to down the right?
I can move. It's
Okay.
probably more important for you to kind of be centered.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So,
Which one did you want, Gabe?
I could be either one. I like either one.
Okay.
I don't want to gender force you.
Yeah, like I like Jin, but I kind of want to play Finn.
Yeah, you totally can.
Jin and Finn.
The sniper thing sounds fun. Oh, but he has absorb for... I don't know. I don't know. What is... Shows you free move. That could kind of be... I don't know. Ah, wait, hold on. Do I have a coin I can flip? Alright, call it.
Heads.
Heads? Okay. Alright, heads it is. So you pick.
Oh, I've got a pick.
Yep.
I'll play Jin because actually it's been a while since I played her.
Okay.
Is that cool? I
Yeah.
don't-
No, that's great. That'll be fun. Okay. So I don't know where I should...
You can basically. So I think this is the bottom of the board. So if you don't want to place anything up here,
Oh, okay. Cool.
you can place it anywhere else. I don't think it'll end up taking up a whole lot of space.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we can
Alright.
even leave them here pretty close to each other like this.
Okay.
Okay, so we added a rebel trooper. The app instructed us to add a rebel trooper. Add attention, soldiers! A voice calls out. A uniformed human stands at the top of a set of stone stairs looking down over you. My name is Corporal Kish. I'm here to get you into fighting shape. The Alliance needs all the fighters it can get if we're ever going to overthrow the Empire. Place a rebel. So he's Corporal Kish.
Nice.
I liked it.
Yeah, I like it too. That was good.
Oh, we got to place a gray trooper card. So I'll find that. Sometimes there are NPCs on the board, and they'll be represented by cards, and sometimes you have to protect them. But they're kind of like our shortened version of our character sheet. They have health and speed on them, defense die. It lists their attack dice. So pretty much everything you need to know to run them. I'm not sure if we'll end up doing anything with him, but that's his kind of character sheet. And you'll see they have special abilities too. Like if he's not exited his space during his activation, so if he didn't move, he can actually do more damage and shoot farther, which is kind of cool. All right.
So he'll only move if he can't attack something, right?
Right, right. Okay. So whenever we play a mission, it's divided into a number of rounds. We'll switch back over. Within each round, every figure is going to get one activation. Some characters, because we're playing with 3 players, there's always going to be one player that will get 2 activations in a round. It's so that it kind of balances it evenly, because you're technically playing with 4 players that way. And it rotates it every round, so each of us will get a chance to have 2 activations.
Okay, cool.
And then after that, usually the Imperial guys go.
Alright.
So when it's your activation, and we can activate in whatever order we want, you can do 2 actions. You can do the same action twice if you want, including attack, which is kind of nice, because the Imperial player doesn't usually attack twice, or is not allowed to.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So it's kind of a rebel advantage, or a player advantage. Let's get moving, Kish says. We got some combat training to do. Corporal Kish activates first. He walks down the stairs and stops next to the gate leading out of the courtyard. Corporal Kish's first action will be a move action. Okay, so it's going to teach us how to do an activation through him. So when he takes a move action, that figure gets a move equal to their speed. So his speed is 4. And they can be used anytime during your activation. So this is where it gets kind of gray area or kind of confusing at first. You can actually break your movement up and do your other action in between. So you can move a couple spaces, attack, and then move the rest of your spaces.
It's different than Gloomhaven, too.
Right, right. All of the spaces on our map here, there's basically white bordered spaces. Those can be moved into easily with just one movement. But if it's got red border, we cannot move into it. It's like an obstacle. The dotted line means you can't move through it, but you have line of sight across it. Whereas the solid line also can block line of sight.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're going out the door behind us, right?
Hopefully, yeah. So he moved down here, and then he moved diagonally through Jin, and then so you can move through allies, but you can't stop on them. And then he moved up here by the door.
Oh, okay.
So he used 3 of his movements.
Wait, that's 4. Right, because he has to move down to the bottom of the stairs, down here. Oh wait.
Yeah, he moved diagonally through you.
Oh, he just moved. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That weird
Yeah.
movement, like, what was that other game that we played where we couldn't move diagonally?
Oh, yeah. What was that?
I don't.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Oh, in this game, you can move through hostile figures. It just costs you an extra movement. So that's kind of a big difference, too.
Oh, I like that.
You don't take, like, an attack of opportunity or anything?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so it just costs you an extra movement point. So doors are placed along the edges and block movement across those edges. Tokens like this door that's up here have their own rules that are defined by the mission. You can select a token on the map anytime to read the rules that apply to that token. So if you wanted to see, for example, what if the door is locked, you can actually click on it and just kind of check it. When we clicked on it, it says an ancient rusty gate leads out of the courtyard. A rebel may interact with this door to open it. In order to do that, if you look at the button to interact with it, if it has an action icon, then that means you have to spend one of your 2 actions in order to open it, which in this case we have to.
Okay.
But he's going to, yeah, I think he's going to do that for us.
Cool.
Corporal Kish pushes the ancient metal gate open to reveal the lush, dense jungle beyond. Okay, so we removed the door temporarily, and now we've got some new map.
Oh wow, we gotta put that whole thing down?
I know.
Oh boy.
These things are really cool though. They just snap in
Oh, that's neat.
on this mod. Yeah, it's really handy.
And I'll switch over back to Tabletop Simulator so you can see the excitement of putting the map together. We had 5A. Every map that you get with the game is double-sided, which is kind of nice because you can have a huge variety of terrain.
Yeah.
That's cool. And it looks like a bunch of these, like, these are all 18 pieces. Like piece number 18 over there. These little tiny side ones. You just like duplicate them in the mod.
Yeah. There's like extra ones of that, extra copies of that in the game. But yeah, you just copy them in here. Hmm.
That's interesting. This piece right here looks very different on your screen than it does on mine. It's like a sand.
That's what it looks like to me too.
Sand for you too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, because it's like a tree.
Oh, what about now?
Now it looks.
Now it's a tree.
Yeah, green.
Huh.
Oh, yours is a tree on both sides. That's weird. It must be bugged for you.
Yeah, that is weird.
Interesting.
Okay, so it says 5A. Oh, that's down here. Uh, 6A. The excitement builds.
Finding all the map tiles. Oh, is it missing some?
Well, I think I might have... Oh, I already pulled it out. Never mind. I've got 6A. I've got 9. I've got to get 9A.
Gotta move the guard.
Oh, yeah, thanks. 10A. 17A.
Ooh, bet you almost got him.
I know, it's kind of like a game. Another game. I think I put this piece on wrong. The app is playing some rushing water sounds.
Great. Because we've entered a stream area.
Yeah. Hey, did I do it?
Yeah, I guess that's the only thing. We can't hear.
I know.
Yeah. But somehow I'll be alright not hearing the Russian stream.
You mean you don't want to have to pee every 5 minutes?
Okay, so the nice thing is the app does tell you, and it's really clear, you can zoom in and out on the app so you can make sure where the tiles go correctly, because some of the maps that come with the paper on the book are sometimes a little confusing how to put together.
Oh, that's cool.
Here we've got the map. All right, now we've got some crates.
What about the blue outlined things? Do they just take more than one movement to move into?
Right, it's like water, so yeah, it just costs an extra
Alright,
an
so
extra
that's
one movement, yeah. Like Gloomhaven, yeah. So there are some crates up here.
3 of them?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were all in one place. I was like, oh, that's convenient. Are they random?
I don't know. I think the app knows who is opening them, because I think there's an item for each specialty for each character.
Oh, okay.
All right, so Corporal Kish has 1 movement point left. If you remember, he used 3, so now he's going to use his last movement point to move diagonally up here.
Okay.
And he's taken 2 actions. If you remember, he's moved his he used a movement action, and then he opened the door. So now he's done.
Okay.
Now,
On the app, I'll go back to the app so I can kind of show this. On the app, whenever a player is done, you have to make sure and click on that character and end their activation so the app knows that character was the one that moved. So, because it doesn't really keep track of where your characters are on the app, if that makes sense, yeah. So now we're going to take our turns. Our orders now are to grab our gear from the crates and follow Corporal Kish. Each of us get an activation, and once we have opened the crate, it'll kind of keep track of that. All right. So go back to our board. We can actually choose our order. Whoever wants to go first.
But Jin gets 2 activations this round or something?
Right, right. She will get 2 activations.
Okay.
so we totally get a pick who's going when.
Right. If you guys want, I can go first.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can all make it to a crate. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we want Jin to do the one on the right hand side?
Okay. Since she's getting 2 turns, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you look at her character sheet, she has a speed of 5, so I can
Fastest.
Yeah, I can activate her move action, and she can move 5 spaces. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then.
Oh, you can activate on a diagonal too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I'll interact. Yeah, so you can activate orthogonally or diagonally from any space. You just have to be adjacent.
Cool.
So I'll interact.
That's good to know that diagonals count for adjacent.
Yeah.
Okay.
You open the crate and find a blaster rifle inside. The player for Finn searches Finn's class cards for the card called Infantry Rifle. Oh, so technically we didn't have our weapons until just now.
Oh.
This is our starting weapons. So Finn got his starting weapon. In a typical mission, you always start with this card in play.
Okay.
All right.
Here's how you became
Yeah, this is the origin story.
I found a gun in a crate.
So once you open a crate, you remove it from the board.
So the opening is your second action.
Right. Right.
Oh, okay.
It does cost an action. I have 1 more movement, but I think I might be in somebody's way if I move 1 more over.
Well, you could just move diagonally backwards.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Same
Yeah.
distance.
Okay.
All
I
right.
think I know where I want to go.
Okay, I'm ending Jin's activation on the app. All right.
Okay.
So whoever
Okay.
wants to go.
ahead.
You don't mind? Okay.
No, I don't care. 3 drives are
Gar-
great.
Garcon has 4 speed. I think I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and then 4 to here, and then open that. So if there's stuff, I can get hit first and hopefully go into a roid rage. If it hits me, so I guess I'll pop that one.
You open the crate and find a blaster pistol inside. The player for Jin Odan searches Jin's class cards for the card called Vintage Blaster, places it face up next to Jin's hero sheet. This is Jin's starting weapon. In a typical mission, you'd start with that. Oh, yeah, so it's saying the same thing. All right.
So Deb could be a jerk and say,
Yeah.
"I'm not bothering to search that last crate."
Yeah.
Well, it is part of the mission, I think. To...
Oh, that's right.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll open that.
All right. Oh, and I ended Garcon's activation.
Okay.
And then now the crate contains equipment for one of the members of your team.
Give me that axe.
You open the crate to find a vibro axe. All right. So Garcon has his vibro axe.
Vibro X. Lol. To take batteries there, Wookie.
So it says, having collected your gear, you head out to the combat range. Objective updated. 2 of 3. Perform activations until each hero occupies the space. Oh, okay. So let me go back to the app. This will help if you can actually see it. So the app now has objective places where we have to be. So we have to move until we are over by the river.
Okay.
In these 3 spaces, and so we'll kind of keep going in activation order until we have achieved that objective.
Any one of us could be in any one of those 3, or we have to be exactly where the A tells us.
I think we have to technically be in the assigned spot.
Okay.
This tutorial is very exact. In the normal game, it won't require you to be that exact.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad I ran up front.
Well, Jin has another turn, right? So.
Oh yeah, it does tell us, by the way, that it does remind us that the difficult blue surrounding terrain is an additional movement point to move into.
Okay.
All right, so Jin is going to be taking her extra turn now, and she can move 5. So I'll move her 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
But she gets 2 activations, right?
Right, so you could do a double move action. And...
Yeah, she's fast.
Yeah, so she's going to be
1,
bored
2,
while we run.
3. So she's reached her location.
Okay. Now you just gotta wait for us to catch up.
Exactly.
But we can also double move, right?
Right, so now we're in round 2. Corporal Kish takes... Oh, I guess he gets to go first. Corporal Kish takes off at a jog through the jungle. He activates next. Moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Is that where you're supposed to land anyway?
Yeah. He had to spend, both of his actions to do that.
Yes, you moved me, not you.
What? Oh,
Yeah,
crap.
me.
Where were you?
Right here. Next to the Wookiee.
You had the
Okay.
space, though. You had 2 more move left.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. So that was the end of his activation, so it's back to you guys now.
All right. Deb, you or me, I think we both could make it, right?
There we go. There,
The
I'm
double
careful.
move.
I think so.
Go ahead.
Oh, we've both got 8 speed.
Yeah.
You want to go first since you're in front?
Okay. So first activation, I can move 4 is my speed, so I
Mhm.
go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then my next activation is 1, 2, 3, and I think this is where I was supposed to be.
Actually, I think you can be there. Oh, no,
I
you're
thought-
right. You're right. You were
Yeah, I
right.
thought the picture said I was okay. So I made it.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm in the river.
Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I could just barely not make it.
I think you could if you move diagonal from the river here, right?
Oh, did I not move I thought I did.
I don't think you did.
4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, you're right. I did. Okay. There we go. I made it.
Nice.
Oh,
Mission accomplished.
it says you've got to be here.
I have to
Oh.
be there. Oh, okay. Well, I
Yeah.
definitely can't make it that far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, who gets 2 activations this round?
Garcon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I throw Finn?
Yeah.
Pick up
So,
Finn. Move Finn.
I mean, there's nothing for me to do.
All
So.
right. I just skipped
Okay.
to our round 3.
Okay.
All right. So we could have Finn go first.
Boop.
There you go.
Do we see the rest of the story now before I finish the rest of my turn? Or no?
I guess the app will tell us, right?
Yeah, I've got to end. Okay. All right, let's get you some combat training, Kish says. He moves some branches away from a small computer. Oh, a small computer terminal you hadn't noticed before. Place one terminal token in the indicated space. So this is our computer terminal right
nice.
above him. The corporal flips a couple of switches on the panel, but the terminal begins making a grinding sound and then goes black. Kish flicks the switch up and down several times, but the terminal shows no sign of life. Are any of you handy with a wrench? He asks. The terminal requires repairs. Fortunately, Jin is good with technology, as indicated by the 3 dice of her tech attribute, which is the wrench on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Wrench symbol. She will now attempt to pass a tech attribute test. To perform an attribute test, roll the die listed next to the attribute, in this case tech, and enter the number of surge icons that you roll on the dice. Ignore any wounds or any other numbers. Just the surge are all that count. So I roll a green, a blue, and a yellow. And I'm trying to get surge results, which are the little lightning symbols.
Don't screw it up.
Oh,
Tech person.
I gotta go back to the app here.
We need an orb of music in this game that plays. Like,
That's true.
Star Wars.
All right, so I'm repairing this computer terminal.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that.
And I rolled no surges on the green, no on the blue, 2 on the yellow.
Oh, that's how you
Is
repair.
that enough?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to enter 2 into the app. You don't. What's cool is in tests on this app, you don't know when you succeed, or you don't know how many you need to succeed.
You just got to enter your results and see.
Yeah. You open up the terminal and quickly find the source of the problem. After a quick bypass, you close up the terminal and flip a switch, bringing the machine back to life.
Oh, nice.
Nice job, Corporal Kish says.
Woo.
The corporal flips a few switches on the terminal and a number of small, spherical training remotes deploy from a container hidden behind the terminal and spread out around the immediate area, hovering a few meters off the ground. Place 6 neutral mission tokens in the indicated spaces.
6.
Yeah.
Oops, that's not
Whoop. Yeah, if you guys want to help me place them.
Oh, I see. Looking at the app.
This is the kind of game that you can play with your friends and have your friends help you.
I don't know
Everyone
where
loves
the-
setup.
Can't see it.
I don't know if that
Oh,
makes
that
it
is-
easier.
Never mind. It's way extra.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I don't see that one.
All right, we did it. We
Okay.
won.
Yay!
Neutral mission tokens are used to represent a variety of things from bystander to secret passages. The rules for neutral mission tokens are defined in each mission. You can always select them in the app just like any other token for more information. These represent, for this mission, training remotes. We'll use these remotes for target practice, Kish says. Allow me to demonstrate. He pulls out his blaster pistol. Corporal Kish now activates and wants to perform an attack. He has a ranged attack, because he's got the little gun symbol by his card. Or by his dice attack dice. Let's see. And he rolls those color of dice. Oh, first he has to have a line of sight to his target. So let's check to see if he has that. It's doing this in the app. So to have line of sight to a target, you have to draw a line from one corner of your square to 2 corners of a target square.
Oh, that's more than Gloomhaven. That's
Yeah.
a stricter.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So for example,
Cool.
yeah. What's that?
Without crossing through an obstacle, you mean?
Right, and actually figures do block line of sight in this game too. So that's why it's a little bit more technical, I guess, than Gloomhaven. So, for example, he would not have line of sight here. Oh, I'm gonna go back to the app. So he would not have line of sight here because he would have to go through Garkana and Jin to draw that. Yeah. Same with this one. He can't attack through Jin.
Okay.
And
But
of
he
course,
can move,
that's
right?
true. Yeah, he could activate and move to get line of sight, and he can't hit these two
But then he
because the
couldn't
wall
double
blocks it.
attack, which
Right,
sucked.
right. So he does have line of sight to these two hexes in the upper corner because he can draw from this corner and hit this corner and this corner, or he can draw one from this corner and hit this one and this one.
Does the app automatically do the line of sight thing for you?
No.
Because I saw the red vertical lines.
Yeah, you actually have to, because it doesn't keep track on a regular game. It doesn't keep track of where enemies are, and it doesn't keep track of where you are, players
Oh,
are.
is that just like a demonstration thing? It was like, oh.
Right. Yeah, that was just a demonstration on the app.
Okay.
Yeah. Corporal Kish. Oh, he does perform a move action to get closer to his target, so he moves up 2 spaces.
What's the range on his attack?
So it's kind of interesting in this game. It's called accuracy. So if you notice on the die, there's their numbers, and that lets you know what you do is you add up those numbers, and that's how much range you can hit.
Oh,
okay.
so range is random
Right.
in this game.
Right.
So the closer you are, the more likely you'll be able to attack it,
Right.
but without being right next to it.
Yeah, exactly. And
I like
actually,
that.
there's no attack of opportunity if you're right next to him, or disadvantage.
There's no disadvantage for a pistol blast, right? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
That makes sense for a pistol,
like,
a big
yeah.
rifle.
Yeah, the rifle would suck, but can you imagine being shot with a rifle from point blank?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna roll these.
Where Get Diablo is an obstacle, you can't move into that space or through it.
Right. Right. So he's gonna shoot here. He's only, if you notice the range, it's only 2 spaces away. So I'm gonna roll these dice. It should be pretty easy for him to hit. All right, so he easily got range because 3 plus 2 is 5. So you could have hit something up to 5 away.
So he didn't even really have to move.
Right.
Okay.
So he did hit with accuracy. So for damage, he did. You look at the little wound icons on, for example, the blue die. Yeah.
Flippin things? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, let me switch back to the app. Okay, so the wound icon did 1 point of damage, and then you've got these 2 surges. Let's see. Does the remote have at least 3? Okay, so no, he didn't do 3 damage. So we're ignoring surge for right now. They'll be discussed later. Just as a reminder, Garkon can only attack remotes adjacent because he is a melee attacker.
Garkon, throw the axe.
I know. Now that you've seen how it's done, show me what you've got, Corporal Kish says, stepping back next to the terminal. Alright, I think it
So
did
he
1
shot it.
damage.
But didn't kill it.
Right, and I think it did 1 damage, so we'll put a damage on it.
That's
think
not
we
how
need-
it's done.
Yeah, I think we need...
You better put a damage on it.
Yeah.
He does like it.
So he moves back down here to the terminal in embarrassment.
Oh yeah, because you can interrupt your movement. And
Mhm.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
So we end his activation. Now Finn has 1 more activation, and then the other one of us have our 1 activation.
These things aren't going to attack us, right?
Right.
So why wouldn't he just stay there so he could attack twice next turn? Does it
I
say
think
he-
he's going to let us do the rest of this.
Oh,
I-
it says he puts back?
Yeah, he pulls back and says, let me see how you guys can do this. Or do.
Oh, okay.
So Finn's up, huh?
Yes.
Or any one of us is up, right?
Right, any one of us has 1 more activation left.
But Finn's got.
He did
Oh,
have
but-
2 activations, yeah. But we already used 1.
Oh. Well, I can tell you, I just don't want to get the water ones. I'd like to not have to move through all that water since I'm Malay. But other than that,
I wasted my whole turn moving 2 spaces.
Well, one of your 2 turns, yeah.
it made you though, I guess.
Yeah, you don't really.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I don't want to go first. I need you guys to
Um,
get me anyway, so I can have more power.
if I don't have to shoot at the water ones, I was thinking about I can take the maybe the back way up and around.
Yeah, go ahead. I can shoot at the water ones, and I'll move away a little bit.
Well, it's obvious I have to move since I'm Malay, and my speed is 4. So let's see how far we can.
Oh, honestly, I was thinking if you went into the water, you could hit both of those other ones. You'd be in range. You just, if you stood here, you could hit both of those other ones. Conversely,
Yeah,
front
yeah,
one,
it's
2,
true.
4. You could do the same if you stood here.
Mm-hmm.
You could hit both of those other two.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, but you're right. I could do it in the water too.
Yeah.
What would you guys prefer?
I don't care.
Well, fish do it in the water.
I can shoot the water ones too.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
fine either way, because our range is fine
I'll
in this area.
I'll make my way here, so I can go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then all I have left is 1 attack.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get to use, you said, our surge actions or anything.
Right, right.
And I take it I couldn't have used my charge ability.
Right.
in
We're
before.
pretending, yeah, we're pretending right now we can't use those.
Those will be taught to us. Okay, then I guess I'll just attack the one to my right. It
Okay.
says I get a red and yellow. I'm guessing the red is like a heavier hitting kind of die, right?
Yeah, each die has kind of a cool specialization. Like, I believe that yellow is range. It's for range characters.
What
so
do
it
I have?
so it adds.
You
Well,
have a stack.
yeah. I mean, it's not exclusively, but it does have a lot of range. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of a different die.
Because it looks like the red has a lot more damage.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of blue. I'm sorry. Blue does have a 5 range on it.
Oh, wow.
So blue is the big
Distance.
distance. Yellow, I think, adds surges. A lot of surges.
Okay.
Red is just like pure damage, and 1 surge.
Look at that 3 on. Okay.
Yeah, and then
Well, I'm
green's
gonna
kind of
show
in between.
what's his face that couldn't kill a robot. I'm gonna show him how it's done.
There you go.
Get there.
How much health do the robots have? Do we know?
3.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh.
No, I guess I'm not
One.
gonna show him up. 1 whole damage.
And the damage tokens are up here, by the way. If you
Which one
Okay.
do you want to damage, Joe? Which one do you want?
I'm a failure as a Wookiee. That one. That's it. It's all that Garcon can muster.
okay,
Alright. Gabe, I need you to go.
okay, I will go. So Jin moves up here. Oh, actually, she'll move here. Or would you rather me go and take care of the ones up north?
Probably since you can move farther than I can.
Okay, that's no problem.
I'm gonna sit
1.
in the water and shoot these other ones.
Okay, 2, 3, 4. Because I can't. Ah, see, here's a conundrum, or an unsolvable. Because I was gonna stay here and I can shoot all 3, but I can't because I can't draw line of sight to this 3rd one
Well,
here.
Wookiee's gonna kill that one, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
You could sit up here if you wanted to hit them all.
Oh no, I'm okay. I can always move again too, if I need to.
I wish I could get that other dude to move.
Yeah.
He's blocking my fucking shots here.
All right, so I will use my 2nd activation to shoot, and she has her vintage blaster, so she actually rolls 2 green dice, which is kind of interesting.
Oh.
So she's got a good amount of range, but I think there's not a lot of surge power on these.
I did more damage than I did.
All right, so 2. Oh, I didn't say which one I was shooting, but
Makes sense.
yeah. All right, so boom, I got that one. So let's see. I destroy it.
Oh, so 3 must be it.
Yeah. So if you so I clicked on it to interact with it, and it says it has 3 health, no defense. So I went ahead and destroyed it. The remote explodes in a cloud of smoke and sparks, and its shattered remains fall to the ground. Discard this
Nice.
token.
Well, I guess I
Alright.
don't need to worry about people not being near me because I'm not using Havoc Shot yet.
Yeah. But you're already thinking like a Havoc shooter.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So is it my turn now?
Yeah.
Second activation.
Hmm.
Okay. So I have the blue die and the green die to roll for mine. I'm gonna attack this one first, just from where I am.
Get it.
Because I want to be able to attack twice, hopefully. Alright.
That's
Ooh.
looking good. Dang.
Easily
yeah.
got range. Oh, and you knocked it. Which one did you hit?
This one.
Top one? Okay.
She killed it.
Yep, 3 defense. The remote explodes in a cloud of smoke and sparks, and its shattered remains also fall to the ground.
No,
Did
these
it?
shattered remains fell up.
Yeah.
Alright, so I can use my second part of my action to attack the other one?
Oh,
Is
it did just tell us now we can use surge icons to enhance attacks. So from now on, every attack you do, if you have surges, you can spin them. Now it does say you can use one surge ability. Each surge ability can only be used once per attack. So, for example, my vintage blaster, even if I roll 2 surges, I can only activate the extra wound once.
Oh, then the other one has to be used for accuracy.
Right. So in other words, it's kind of wasted because a lot of times you roll your range no problem.
Okay.
But
Oh, okay. Interesting.
yeah.
Okay. So I can use the second part of my action to attack this guy?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Don't roll off the table, please.
Uh-oh. The range looks like a no-go.
One.
Shit.
Yeah.
But you didn't
Dang.
roll a surge either.
No. I know I
Poop.
could have used accuracy. I don't think there are surges on the blue one, at least.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yikes. Okay.
Oh, there
Is
Uh,
is that everyone?
yeah. So that's the end of the round. If we want to take a quick break, and then
Come back and
come
kill
back.
this thing?
Yeah. In this menace.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes, and we'll continue on with the tutorial mission. See you guys in a little bit. Hello, welcome back. We are continuing our training because we're so new at games like this. We don't know what we're doing. So, we're at the top of a new round, and the person who has 2 activations this round is Jin.
Okay.
So, does anybody have a hankering to go first?
Looks like we're all attacking, so.
Yeah.
Why
don't you go first?
That's kind of what I was thinking, and then if I need you
help
to use one of your 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm basically attacking these things where I'm at. I don't have to move, which would be awesome because I can do 2 attacks, but we can now use surges.
Right.
Okay. So I'll continue to attack the remote thing to my right.
Okay.
So here's the first attack. Oof. I'm liking this.
Yeah.
So I put 2 damage on it, but I also have 2 surges.
Right. So
now, oh, go ahead.
Just FYI, one of your surges is Pierce 1. What that means is if an enemy had a defensive shield, like they rolled on one of their die, they can block damage, but Pierce ignores 1. So if it has Pierce 1, it ignores one of those results.
Okay.
Cleave is also really cool because once you do your damage that's on the dice, then if there's another adjacent enemy, you actually hit another enemy for that much damage.
Oh, yeah. Cleavage shit.
So it's cleave 1 target, not cleave 1 damage?
It's actually damage, yeah. So cleave means it hits another target, and then the number is how much damage it hits the other target for.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But only if you successfully hit the first one?
Right, right. Yeah.
So what's the order? Do you apply the damage first before the surges? Is that what you're supposed to do?
I think so.
So the 2 damage went to that, and it killed it.
Right.
And so the pierce I can't use on anything, I guess, and so I cleave the other one?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Why isn't this token coming out? There it is.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Nice. That was just 1 attack, so now my second one.
Oh, hold on. He interrupted the corporal. Well done taking out those remotes. I think you need a harder challenge. Let's see how you do with level 2 remotes. He flips a few switches on the panel, and the remotes begin moving and rotating unpredictably. The remaining remotes now have a defense die. There are 2 colors of defense die, black and white. The remotes roll a white defense die. So whenever you attack a target that has a defense die, you roll those defense die along with your attack die.
So we just roll it.
Right. So, just to tell you what the symbols mean, the circle that's broken means that it cancels one of your surges.
Oh, that sucks.
It's called an evade. The triangles are dodge or blocks, so that's what blocks damage. Then the
X-Men symbol?
Yeah, the X-Men symbol means that the attack was dodged.
The whole thing.
Yep. So the target will evade out of the way of the shot.
Well, I guess I could attack. I was thinking about moving. No, but you're just gonna attack that other one, so I should just kill this one.
Yeah, I can totally help
shoot at that
too if you miss it.
I guess I'm always looking for cleave advantage now. Okay, but yeah, I'll just attack from here. But now it's gonna defend itself. So my second activation, I'll attack, and he's defending. Oh, come on, damn it! Ugh.
Yeah, so he blocked one of your.
All my shit.
Yeah, he blocked your hit and your surge with an evade and a block. Yeah.
Ah, I suck. That's it. That's all I got.
Alright, it's supposed to get harder, right?
Yeah, yeah. Alright, take out those new remotes, and then the corporal is interrupted by the chirping of his comlink. He listens to the device for a moment, then continues. That was the command center. I'm needed back at base. Take out those remotes. I should be back by the time you're done. So we remove him from the map and continue our activations.
Poof! He just disappeared.
Yeah. Alright.
That's good. He's not near me anymore.
Kill the computer. Just end this now.
Yeah.
There we go.
Let's Kobayashi Maru that.
I can use my tech skill.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I've got a punching. I can roll my punching to punch it, right? Punch it to death. Okay. Who's going next? Do you want me to go next?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna roll my. Oops. I'm gonna roll my card. Roll these 3 dice. Oh, that's not even a roll. Hold on. Oh God, please don't go off the table. No, it's got me. Oh my God. Oh,
They've returned in the middle.
maybe I should roll in the middle. Let's do that. Jesus, this is insane. I probably like hit it already, and I'm just like killing myself over here. All right. Well, we got the range.
Nice.
We've got plenty of damage. Well, we've got 2 damage, I guess, because it nulls 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which one's the null for damage? The circle or
The triangle.
Okay.
And then the circle nulls your surge.
Thing, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So we get 2 damage on it.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna attack it again. Fuck off, thing. Ooh. Yay! It's dead.
Yeah, I got your range.
Nice. Just delete it?
See ya, sucker.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
All right. So,
Now it's Jen, and she's got 2 activations.
yeah. All right. So Jin is going to attack. All right. She's going to attack the remote. That's right. Yeah, the one she's been. No!
Oh, no. Full on.
Oh.
Totally dodged me. All right. So here goes my second action.
I was like, wait, you're not done rolling.
Yeah. All right. Ugh. So it blocked 1 hit. So I'm doing.
You
Yeah, 1 damage, 1 surge, and my surge can do an extra damage, so 2 damage.
Okay.
And
Oh,
then,
that's good. Nice.
yeah, so then her second activation is going to be to attack.
Oh, blank defense, so.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
That's a kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick?
And I think the white die is the only one that has blanks. I think the black has at least one block. So that's the other
Yeah, what's
disadvantage
that?
of the white.
What's the Triforce? Oh wait, is that a Triforce? Yeah, there's like a Triforce symbol on the black die.
Oh, where's that? Oh, it's just 3 blocks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it blocks 3 damage. Yeah. Okay, so that...
Get the Triforce. Go back in time.
Yeah. All right, so that is the last activation of the round, right? Or no, I have one more action. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll move up there. That's it.
No disadvantage or anything.
No.
Shoot that.
So Garcon has 2 activations this new round.
Oh, what'd you do for your second activation?
He
What?
attacked him
I had to attack my first.
because he failed the first attack. on
Yeah.
his first activation,
Oh.
My second one only did 2, and so I'd used it.
and then moved.
Yeah.
Okay.
So new round.
And I have 2, even though it's going to be wasted. Should I just...
Well, you don't know, because as soon as we kill this guy, there's going to be a new thing happen.
Oh, okay.
We don't know what it is yet.
Do you still want me to tag it, or do you want to kill it?
You have 2 activations, so why don't you use one of them, and then we each have 1 activation left. That
Okay.
way.
So I guess I'll just attack this guy. Uh-oh.
Oh, bye.
Oh, and 1 went inside the box.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Boy.
Alright. Let me try.
I did make them ridiculously big.
It's okay. They're easier to see.
Yeah.
Mold eyes.
Ooh.
Okay. Alright.
So you totally got it.
Yeah. Killed it. I still have 1 activation left in my first activation.
Yeah. So I'll destroy it,
Okay.
and then we'll see what happens. The last remote was just exploding in a ball of sparks and fire when a signal comes across all comlink channels. Alert! Alert! Imperial forces have landed! Begin evacuation procedures immediately. You decide you'd better get back to base.
Oh crap! I'm all the way over here.
Yeah. Teleport us.
Oh,
Transport.
okay. So I'm switching back to the app. There's some interesting developments. This is the campaign map. You will return here each time you complete a mission. You will learn more about the campaign map after the third tutorial mission. So there's separate tutorial missions, and when we play a regular campaign, there'll actually be different planets you travel to, so you have a choice of where you want to go, which mission you want to do. And so this is like our campaign map.
Okay.
The app will automatically save your progress at the. So basically, you can quit at the beginning of any round or at the end of any round, and then it also saves progress after in between scenarios.
Okay, so we're at the point where we're either pick to do the next tutorial or maybe end early and or just talk.
Yeah, it looks like we would start the next tutorial mission by selecting the planet, and then that's basically what we can do. But it'll also save it so we can continue this next week if we want to stop here and just kind of end early and talk a little bit. Or
Yeah, I think that sounds good, if you don't mind.
yeah.
Next week, I know I'm out, and I think Nikki was also out. Do you think we'll be taking it off, or... I mean, if you two actually wanted to finish this tutorial and play my guy, or we could find a guest also.
Yeah, maybe I could get Matt to play. Oh
Yeah.
wait, Matt's in Korea.
Oh, is it Eastern Clash?
No, he does Overwatch stuff now.
Oh, okay. I guess keep an eye. Well,
Yeah, we can
should
post it on
post
Twitter.
Some of that stuff. We have a Twitter account, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm free, I'll just stream something.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
What is that Twitter account now?
It's Table Flippin BG on Twitter.
Yeah.
Link it.
Yeah, this is where we'll post all updates, preview shows.
Tell all your friends.
Yes.
Yeah, go follow Cthulhu on Twitter.
Exactly.
And so following up with that, are we going to have VODs also people can check out in a new place?
That's we're still
Well,
Oh,
for
yeah.
now they're on here.
right.
So for, I don't know, follow the channel, I guess. You
Okay.
didn't catch that memo. I think all of you guys already are, so that's good. But VODs are not behind any sort of sub wall or anything, so you guys can always watch VODs. Anyone who knows my channel knows that, but yeah, so we don't have concrete plans about YouTube for now, but I think we're gonna try to get there because we had an audience there and we should, at least let them know. Because
Yeah.
I don't know that we ever let them know. Maybe we can upload that transition video to the Misclicks YouTube.
Well, the VODs from last week were on at least, and at the end of
Oh,
the
were
show
they?
last week.
That's
Yeah.
And I think Joe did put a message on the page,
Misclick.
right? For
Twitter.
that episode. No, for that episode on YouTube, didn't you?
Oh, I just commented, yeah, in the YouTube section. That's
okay.
right.
That we were switching. Yeah.
Like the description or just in the comment section?
In the comment section, I just said future episodes at twitch.tv/Defebwire.
Okay.
So that might be a bit. Can you make comments on? I'm not as familiar with Twitch on Twitch.
Yeah, they added commenting, so
Cool.
Okay.
comment, but it shows up in like the live feed, so it's not really the same.
Oh, right. That's right. Because you can post at a certain timestamp. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, the only reason I was bringing VODs up is for people that maybe walked in late. We talked about this at the beginning. We are getting near the end of the Gloomhaven Kickstarter campaign. I think we have only 2 scenarios left.
Right.
And so after that, for the next season, we're starting to kick around ideas of a next overall campaign, as well as we're determining what people might be doing it. And this
Probably
is one of them.
set up a poll on Twitter.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be
that
cool.
would be good because so far we have the Gloomhaven actual campaign because the Kickstarter you're not seeing a lot of stuff. Enchantments, road events, city events, new characters. So that is one of the nominees. And then this one was. So if anybody watching has a preference, we'd like it to be fan
Or
voted on.
suggestions.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
even suggestions. Let us know.
Yeah,
'Cause there-
tweet at our Twitter. We'll
Yeah.
definitely see it that way for sure.
And there are other campaign games out there too. So if people have been like, "Well, I'd really like to see what this campaign looks like," there's a few I know, and some we can pick up. It's pretty cool. So
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
it might be nice to take a rest from Gloomhaven for a little bit.
yeah, yeah,
Especially since we're not sure how long Nikki's gonna be gone after we wrap up with this Gloomhaven Kickstarter campaign. So we might not have the whole cast for a little bit after that directly, but we're
Right.
hoping we'll get them back eventually. So we might just want to take a break from that. I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
suggestions.
Maybe there's something out there that's like an intermediate campaign that's only like 5 or 6 shows long would take or something.
Well, I don't think these are enormously long. I think, as a matter of fact, the first campaign that came with this app is not. I can't say for sure how many missions it has, but I think the missions are playable easily within pretty much one episode, and then I think there might be like 6 missions, 7 missions, something like that. So
Ooh,
it's
that
not.
might be perfect.
Yeah.
And there's no replays in this. You have to go with the result.
Right.
mission.
Right. So if everybody's defeated, yeah, you just keep going on, and it carries on the campaign based on the results of that tragedy.
Yeah. You gotta be. Well, we can talk about this one a little bit if you guys want. Or were you wanting to end a little early?
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think about the difference between? Well, I know we haven't. So, I guess to start off with, just as a reminder again, in case you came in a little late, this is the tutorial mission for the app. So, the normal campaign, the normal playing of this game is a lot more fast paced and definitely a lot more thrilling than target practice. And you'll see that as we play the next mission next week. It's definitely a lot more kind of edge of your seat, because one thing that you'll notice is the Imperials, they have some deadly attacks, deadly combos, and so it can get pretty close toward the end.
Really?
Yeah.
I know one big thing that I think probably the most prominent thing I've noticed. I mean, I don't know why we're having this rule of comparing it to Gloomhaven, but probably because we have Gloomhaven ingrained in our brains by now.
Yeah.
Is there's Gloomhaven's very rigid with almost everything. There's not a lot of chance. I mean, I know people will tell me, "Oh, you have the attack deck," but
Right.
honestly, that's a variation of like 1 or 2 damage usually. In this, you may do no damage.
Right.
You may do a bunch of damage, but you may not make your range. I don't think there's a way to even miss range.
Right.
Even so, it's
Yeah.
kind of like whether you're a big fan of having more randomness or not. I kind of enjoy it a little bit. I don't know. That's the biggest thing I've noticed so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely not as rules lawyery either. It's a little bit more relaxing so far.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate Gloomhaven too, and am curious about the full campaign for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it might be nice to just chill with this one.
Yeah.
Get back a bit and not be so stressed out about like, oh God, what if everyone dies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no time limit. Well, I guess each mission could, but so
Right.
far there's no rule that makes you feel like it's a time limit. I'm sure there's going to
Yeah, with the cards that like exhaust you and stuff. Yeah.
be. Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that is a very suspenseful, tension, anxiety
yeah.
mechanic, laden mechanic.
I
For
missed the
sure. That
chance.
and, like, oh, if we fail, we gotta play it all over again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
At least if we fail in this one, it's just like, all right, well, I don't know, they win.
Yeah.
I like the chance in this. Like, you never know what you're gonna do. You could have a really good roll, and if you got surges to use, you could really have a lot or little.
Right. And
Yeah,
there's
I don't know
some,
what the cards in this pile are though.
yeah, it's
Cards in there.
yeah, it's pretty cool that, and it's nice because it just gives you two abilities to worry about, but then as you purchase with experience points new cards, it adds new combinations. And I believe you can even pick which XP you spend, like which card you buy with your XP, if
Oh,
I'm
neat.
thinking right. Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of like a skill tree.
Right, right.
Yeah, I'm peeking at some of the stuff, Garcon. Um, Some pretty cool looking skills and things.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's also the ability during the campaign you'll gain credits, and you'll use those credits to go purchase at the shop in between, and so that will get you new weapons. There's armor, just like Gloomhaven. There's actually also enhancements for your weapons and armor, so you can add like a sight to your sniper rifle, and
Cool.
yeah,
I'm very curious looking at the figurines up here. Like, are we really gonna have to fight an ATST and stuff? And
yeah.
stuff
They
like
have scenarios where you fight them for sure.
Darth
All right,
Vader.
well, I'll be sure to bring
Mhm.
my giant roll of some super strong wire.
Yeah, exactly.
Knock it over.
You just run around in circles really fast.
Yeah, give me a tauntaun and some wire, and I got.
Yeah, yeah. There's quite a few characters in this. There's even I think eventually like Jabba and Wampas, and there is a Rancor I think too if I remember
Really?
right. Yeah, I think so.
I
How
don't
far?
see tauntauns though. Why can't we ride them?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good question.
How far have you played in the campaign in this?
So it's weird. I actually haven't played very much of a campaign. I'm not sure why. I think what happened was is when this game came out, I had been playing Descent so much I was kind of fatigued, and then just as I was kind of getting rid of that, like everything else was coming out,
Yeah.
and then eventually Gloomhaven came out, and it's just man, there's just an overload of games now.
One thing, I don't think this game is gonna do it, but it at least involves the app.
Right.
What is the app gonna do? I'm curious about. Like, is it because we roll the die for the enemy's defense?
Well,
We
the app's supposed to like move the enemies though.
Yeah. How's the app interact?
so the app kind of has a thing like Gloomhaven where it says it'll have like a random attack card that will be drawn, and it will say like move toward the nearest enemy with the most damage, and then attack that enemy. Um, and so you basically go down this list of priorities based on one at a time, and then once you've done two activations or two actions, then that's their turn is up,
Oh, okay.
and
And
then
it-
you actually roll the dice for them.
Okay.
You have to keep rolling the dice for them.
So each app, every round, it'll change, like, how do I want to say it? Like the enemy's focus.
Right, and its
Like, this
activation.
round, it's preying on the person with the least movement.
Right, right.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And it's cool because the app can then maintain like the artificial intelligence of like, so if it's playing like a creature like a tiger or something like that, that's going to attack like the weakest looking person, right? So it makes sense that its activations would have something to do with that. So I think each character, each creature that's attacking has like a different set of tactics, I think.
Gas Guardian wants to know if this game has more heroes than just the 3 we've seen.
Oh, yes. So I'll show you up here. You actually have... This isn't even all of them. I know it's not all of them. But these are all the heroes that you can choose from that this module has. And I think there's probably 20, 30 heroes in the real game that you can choose from. And then
Looks
you
like
also...
the races are well represented.
Yeah. You also get allies all the time, so you could have, and the heroes can choose when they want allies to jump in. So you could have Luke Skywalker jump in for a mission and help
just
you out.
call Skywalker in.
Yeah, exactly.
With these peasants, could you please help us out?
Yeah,
I know you have big things to do up there, but like seriously, bro, we could use an extra 2 days.
yeah.
Oh my god.
That's
Oh,
funny.
hilarious.
Cool.
So yeah, there's tons of
Oh.
choices.
come help us. Now that's worthy.
Yeah, yeah. So so yeah, and they even have some characters from the wider universe like Ahsoka,
Oh,
um,
cool. Yeah.
and those other ones. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember the other names of them, but yeah, there's lots. And then of course for the Imperial player, if you love, so this is one problem I have with these games. I'm not a big fan of one versus many games because I feel like if you're the overlord or whatever, it's very hard. It's you're kind of on that fine line of if you make a mistake, then you're the only person that's at fault, and then everybody else is against you. So of course you have a team who's cheering on them each other and then laughing at you when you miss, laughing at the overlord. So it kind of sucks. I feel like to be.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, to go off on a tangent here, you and I have done a lot of these games together, and we've done that. And one thing that really sucks about it is, we've never done it because we're perfect.
Yeah.
Don't prove us wrong by watching old VODs, but sometimes you can have a turn where a hero will be like, "Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Can I go back and actually do this?" And then if you have a human overlord, you're like, "Well, hell no, you can't go back."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of get
what I was gonna do.
yeah, people get on each other, and it's like we don't really need that in a board game. I mean, yeah, you should go back in a general sense, but when you got another person on your side who's going to have a disadvantage, we've had some pretty good arguments about what you can and cannot go back and do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And so there's a little bit of animosity there. So I love the apps just because they can definitely take away that stress of playing the Overlord. But if you love playing the Overlord, there are a ton of Imperial options, and every mission you kind of have groups that are set. So there's certain troops and monsters and creatures that you have to have, but then there's also usually an open group or two, so you can actually pick
Oh, cool.
what kind of troops you want to bring in as reinforcements. Yeah,
Every
Jawas, yeah. Sand Troopers, Tusken Raiders.
time. Yeah.
No, I want to be Boba Fett.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, there's lots of really cool options. The Overlord in this is I like this better than Descent because the Overlord has a lot of XP that they earn and you can purchase lots of cards that you can use for your advantage too. So it's pretty cool.
And speaking of that, I don't know if we talked about it on last stream or we were talking about it off stream, but someone was telling us that Gloomhaven's coming out on PC.
Oh yeah,
And
so
the AI is taken care of. I was gonna ask you guys' thoughts on that.
well,
If the AI was run.
Isn't it? It's a single player version of Gloomhaven, though, right? It's not.
right, and apparently they said the rules are not going to be exactly the same. So you might just be playing like a video game is set in the world.
Yeah.
To me, it was a.
Yeah.
I kind of like the thought. The AI Gloomhaven is very complex. I mean, they even have quizzes. We were talking about it in a YouTube comment. People were linking of all these different scenarios. It was like a friggin' LSAT or graduate
Yeah.
school.
Some of them are wrong.
And
Yeah.
I mean, the thought of the AI just taking all that over and knowing it's done right, because we've had games where 5 turns ago we all of a sudden realized we screwed something up running the AI, and you kind of have this thought of how did that butterfly effect? Did we really win this game because of that mistake? And I kind of like the idea of the AI being taken over, but I don't know. I didn't know what you guys thought of that.
Well, I will say, having played with other people who just randomly insert house rules.
Oh
sort of
God.
Shit. I'm just like, let's not play with house rules. Oh, but we usually do it this. I'm like, no. Like they were taking. I'm not gonna like name any names, but
Sure.
they were taking free experience for actions that they couldn't complete, but they played the cards.
Oh, that would be terrible.
Jeez.
Yeah. Be like, oh well, I'm just gonna swipe at the air. I was like, that's not how that works. Oh, you can't do that? No, you can't do that. Oh, what's a house rule? No. Actually, just not in the rules. Like, what are you doing? So that's a little frustrating.
God. No,
So I
Gloomhaven has a
play-
rule for everything.
Yeah, I think we played pretty by the book, and when we figure stuff out, we'll change how we're playing from then on out. So I
Yeah.
think it's pretty fair.
Yeah, and I feel like
can't expect people who are brand new to it to know
Yeah.
every single minute detail to those rules. The rules themselves are a fucking book.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty crazy. Well, and we in my work group, we were playing Gloomhaven, and we realized that we've been including scenarios or unlocking scenarios that we didn't actually unlock because
No.
the scenario book will list scenarios. They'll put
Uh-huh.
them in little circles, but it won't say. I didn't realize that it will just refer to them and say, "Hey, you're on the way to unlocking these pretty soon." I don't know
Oh no.
why they do that because
Yeah.
I just assume you see that circle with a number in it. That means you've unlocked that scenario. So we were had our had our character or our party sheet totally messed up as far as what was available to us.
Oh.
It was a nightmare. So
Gee.
we had to go back through and look at each scenario and figure out what exactly we unlocked and what we didn't. Figure out our
Jeez.
path. Yeah, it was a mess.
Man,
Wow.
that's crazy.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like all of us are kind of pro automation of AI, but
Yeah,
on the other side of it, if you get a good group and you have a human run the AI, because I think this is one of the faults of Gloomhaven. Sometimes the rules do stuff that you're like, man, if a human was playing these guys, that would be a terrible move. That would
right.
Yeah.
And it's really challenging when you have a good human overlord
Hmm.
kicking your butt. The win feels better anyway.
Yeah.
My only problem is,
For the person playing the overlord, but if the overlord's also like if everyone's kind of like hive minding the decision making,
right,
like okay, let's be fair, person wouldn't do this. Like they
right,
wouldn't just sit there and wait when they can clearly attack this other guy,
right.
next turn if they moved toward him this turn, sort of thing. But,
Yeah, and it's weird playing the Overlord in these games because you're actually a competitor and not like a DM, where you kind of want the players to win. Although, I've tried several times to tell myself mentally, "Hey, you're just a DM. You're just making a good story." And then after a while, you're like, "No, I'm going to kill them all, or I'm going to be pissed."
yeah, yeah,
Or someone just, I've played it, I've been vindictive when I've like, okay, this particular player is really pissing me off.
Yeah,
And I'm going out of my way. I'm walking past other players.
yeah. I'm not playing optimally. I'm playing revengefully.
Yeah. That's kind of my problem, as I always say, Gabe's heard me rant before about competitive games in general, is you have elements into it that I don't think you see in cooperative, like somebody just blowing up and saying, well, I know I've lost, so all I'm going to do is screw over this person.
Yeah.
They don't win. Seems
or
like every competitive game we played, that happened.
Hmm.
like in a WoW raid when you piss off your healer and they decide to not heal you,
Yeah.
and then you and then
Right.
group wipes because you're doing like a tenth of the damage of the whole raid or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. But I've noticed games are really going the automated, and now with Final or Fantasy Flight doing pretty much all their cards as online games, like Lord of the Rings is going to be their first, which I'm excited for. It's kind of a trend now.
Yeah.
it makes sense. It cuts out a lot of the overhead.
Yeah.
So,
And Gloomhaven does have, if you have an iOS device, Gloomhaven does have an app called Gloomhaven Campaign Tracker. It's not an official app; someone made it, but it's slowly evolving. And at first, it just kept track of your campaign, so it was like a party sheet. But then it slowly evolved to where at this point now you can have all of them. You can pick a scenario, and it will automatically load up all the monsters. You just put their hit. You just pick the level, and it'll automatically insert the enemies. You tell them how many enemies and what numbers they have, and it'll track hit points. It'll draw their action cards, and it even has a modifier deck, so you don't have to pull out any of the monster stuff
is
if you don't
this
want
on
to.
PC, iOS,
It's
and
I don't know if you can get on PC, but it is on iOS. I'm not sure if it's on.
I've got an iPad, so
Yeah, there you go. So I had it running on my iPad with my work group, and it was like, I swear we shaved about an hour off of each scenario.
yeah,
Wow.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, just because you're not physically shuffling everything all the time, and
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I
for sure.
I love physical games, but it is nice to have a little bit of enhancement
Yeah,
for a game that long.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially with iPads being and tablets in general being more accessible, like they're
Mhm.
getting a lot cheaper than they used to be. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
use it in brand new iPad's only like $300, which is still a lot if you don't have a lot, but it's it's like less than half of what they used to be for the cheapest ones. So
Yeah, yeah.
it could
Very
be
cool.
a good investment for all board game players.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome
All
stuff.
right. Well, I guess is that seems like a pretty good stopping point. Is anybody else have anything they want to?
Just a reminder again, this game, although hopefully you'll see a bit more of it, and Gloomhaven so far are contending for the next campaign game. So please, please let us know if you have thoughts or other suggestions on Twitter or
Follow us
mod
on
comments.
Twitter. I linked our Discord in the chat as well, so scroll up and find that link. We have rooms in there for people to talk about board games that they're playing with each other, where you can hook up with other people and play games with other people in the community. I think it'd be really cool to see that grow. So
Yeah, tell me how to play the Brute. I've played 8 missions. I just don't know what I'm
There
doing.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give Joe tips. He does have Discord now, so
Mhm.
pester him there. He doesn't have a Twitter still, but
Yeah.
he has
Nope.
Discord.
Technology, one at a time.
There you go.
Cool. Yeah. We'll keep you posted about next week's episode, and then definitely for sure we'll be back after that. We'll be continuing our Gloomhaven campaign. We've only got 2 scenarios left, so I'm sure it's going to get really epic here at the end. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, maybe we need to kill Barty Happier once.
I know. Surely we've got to run back into that guy.
Yeah. The reason we're in this mess.
Yeah.
Either that or we're gonna bloodshed on some orchids. I don't know.
Yeah. Exactly.
'Cause we still haven't officially escaped yet, right? We're still working on that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. We killed an orchid leader for this group, and now we've got to figure out whether they're going to let us go or not.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
All right. Well, until then, keep in touch with us via the Discord or Twitter, and then we will see you guys in a week or 2.
Yeah.
All right. Later, guys.
Fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.